My name's Jackie Smolinski. I'm Luke's mom. There's been a lot of things that we've needed to do lately, and just child, like we call it Luke proofing because he gets into everything. So, and our house is built in 1929, so it's like very hard to make accommodations to an older home. Our doorways are, really large, so I can't buy a typical baby gate. A child with special needs is very good at being Houdini and climbing through gates, and so there's been a lot of needs, and I've been talking to my friends about, needing to build this, and we need to make this more secure to keep him safe. Sorry. It's okay. And so, oh my gosh, it's really hard to focus and everybody's talking.
You're okay. You're okay.
So we've been talking about the needs to, keep him safe. We have a state hearing for his nursing hours that have just been cut, so we need to hire an attorney to help, defend our case, which is next Wednesday. And then my friends have been with me before in the grocery store where I have put, 30 bags of Gerber graduates into my cart, and I get to the checkout, and your normal grocery bill's, a couple $100, while mine's, an extra $200 a month on Gerber, graduates' baby melts. Yeah, we have, on the waiver program that we're on, we have 4 hours of nursing, and then on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, we get 4-hour shifts, which are hard to fill, but those are the hours that are in jeopardy being reduced from a skilled nurse down to an aide. They're reducing the level of care. So if they gave us an aide, we wouldn't be able to leave him alone to go anywhere. So we have to stay home with him. So it definitely will change things. I mean, my 8-year-old has other medical conditions. So right now he's, at the hospital, or my parents and my husband's parents live an hour away. So, it does make things difficult. There's been times when we didn't have nursing care and he's sick or having an episode, and I have to put him in the car and take the other child, to the hospital or to an appointment. And, toting around a child who's in a medically fragile state is obviously not fun, but we get by. So the services that we did have were few, and when the cuts came, it was just tragic to our family. And I think with the background that I've had as being a special ed educator and being in this field, I kind of know that when something happens and you don't necessarily agree with the decision, the best thing that you can do is fight the decision. So I requested the state hearing, which is next week, Wednesday, and I just hope that when I go into court and can talk to the judge and explain what our needs are, that they can reverse that decision. So.
Yeah. So what you had before, was it just the 4 hours?
It's 4 hours. Yeah. It's what we have when he's not in school right now. In the summer we have 6. Okay. 6 hours a day of skilled nursing, okay. And it will be reduced to an aide rather than a nurse. Sure. So we can't leave the house. Yeah. Okay. So with the aide, she can't do G-tube feeds, medications, any of that. So it would just be her following him around for his safety, that type of stuff. But the ability to go places when he's having an episode would be, is what's going to be changed for us. So, and the episodes are becoming more and more frequent. So, I think there's been a lot of changes on a state level, in regards to, the Medicaid spending. And what Lucas is on is a waiver program. It doesn't look at my husband or I income, it just looks at his medical needs. That's why we got on the program, was because, a while ago, through my husband's insurance, he was told he was going to cap out of, Medical Mutual. So they removed the lifetime cap now, a couple years later after we got those letters. But and so now he has better benefits. And the benefits will stay the same. The medical benefits is the nursing part of it that will change for us. So, but I've been having a hard time finding someone to go with me to court. So, the talk of the attorney and the stress. And I've talked to a lot of free legal places that would represent a child with a disability. And unfortunately, the questions that I'm asked initially are, income level questions. And if you're not below the poverty level, you don't qualify for, someone to go with you into court. So we fall above that, and you know, I can't really afford, when I talk to people who do offer the services, about how expensive it would be. You know, that's one of the things that we decided. There's so many things that Lucas needs, you know, to take that money and spend it on the lawyer kind of would be detrimental to, you know, his other needs. And I'm not really sure what the outcome of the court decision was going to be. So I think that's one of the reasons why my friends kind of, you know, pitched in and said, what if we raise the money? So, you know. So Lynette just started the event on Facebook, and people just started sharing it. She literally just asked me if it was okay, and I said yes, because it was, you know, a small little lemonade stand. And pretty soon later, I mean, there were Browns players that were like retweeting the event, and, you know, Fox 8 put it on their event page, and it just got bigger, and, you know, the amount of people start sharing it. Social media can be a real big benefit for, you know, our situation. I kind of use it on a daily basis. I mean, I have 3 children. Luke's my middle son, and my older child just started having some health issues as well, and he's my healthy 8-year-old. And so a lot of times when I need to take him to the doctor or the hospital, I need someone to watch Luke. So I've been reaching out on Facebook all the time for, can someone babysit? And, you know, I always use the phrase, it takes a village, but my friends have been, you know, tremendous, and it really, it takes a village to raise my family. I've relied on other people, you know, until someone's in a situation like mine. I don't think they realize, you know, how important it is, you know, to have that support. And I mean, he's 6, and it's not been a very easy 6 years, constant health issues and hospital stays. And, you know, sometimes we get admitted for, Lucas has really bad seizure disorder, so, and he has some events. Right now he's having a severe autonomic crisis, a type of event that he can literally be unresponsive for sometimes up to 36 hours. So during these events, if we end up in the hospital, or recently we were in an ICU stay, sometimes when he wakes up, the first thing he wants to do is eat bite bites, which is what he calls yogurt mouth. So my friends have done different things for me, sometimes bringing me dinner, you know, bringing bags of yogurt melts to the hospital, but it's just, it kind of is an amazing feeling. I don't think we would have gotten this far. 6 years has been a long time without the help of, you know, friends and family. So this is the first time that anyone's ever done a benefit. You know, we raised money a few years back for him to get a service dog from an organization. The money went to the service dog company, and they trained a dog for him that's trained in seizure alert. So, and Clarabelle is his service dog, and they go everywhere together. So Luke's pretty well known around our city. If you go to Norton and say Luke's name, I'm pretty much known as Luke's mom. I don't have a, you know, a lot of times people will be like, oh, that's Luke's mom. I don't know, you know. And Luke's dad's usually always at work, so, you know. But, and a lot of the kids know him, obviously, going to school with a service dog, you know, and just being so cute. So, you know, you can't help but not look at him and smile. So, you know, a lot of people throughout our life have used the phrase that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes when you're a parent of a kid with, you know, severe special needs, it's really hard to hear that because, you know, life is forever changed. And I have 2 other kids who have to make accommodations and adjustments, and sometimes I feel like they're missing out. And we're always at the hospital. Just last week we had 12 appointments in 4 days. Between all 3 of my children. Most of them were for Luke, you know, but my older son started having some health problems. So, you know, when people say that to you, everything happens for a reason, it's really hard to, you know, kind of wrap your brain around it. But when people pull through and help me like this, then you just can't help but, you know, think that it really, I mean, it does. He's here for a reason. You know, other people have learned such important lessons, you know, just about humanity. I mean, my other 2 children just are amazing brothers and sisters to him, and I think that they're just going to be so much better off because of the kindness that, you know, that they're learning from other people helping him. So they're really excited about Sunday, about the lemonade stand. I mean, they think it's great, and, you know, their brother gets a lot of attention, but, you know, we talk about, you know, people helping us and, you know, what that means to the family. So it's just an extremely important life lesson. So it kind of balances out because sometimes people aren't always fair in life and sometimes people can, you know, be a little bit ignorant and say things that aren't nice. But when the stuff like this happens, it's just, you know, it all kind of makes sense. when it comes to a child with special needs, unfortunately, the sticker price on everything is always much more expensive. I know before we had any benefits for him, we had to buy his bed, and it was like $1,600. And we've been faced with different things before. We make do. I'm in the process of getting him a new wheelchair, and I have to make sure it can fold down and get in my car because we don't have a van. So all the things that we have to think about is I know those things. I guess normal families go out and buy a vehicle, but don't have to expect to buy a wheelchair accessible $30,000 vehicle. So the price tag for we sometimes call him the $1 million baby. So because I'm sure in his lifetime it's going to cost us a lot of money. So. Our sons played baseball just this last year, so they were all, and Sarah and Heather, some of my friends, and it's so through social media. I mean, obviously, when I throw a birthday party for my children, multiple different people come, but my friends have friended each other just so that what can we do to help her, like when we're in the hospital, and who's going to get Alex off the school bus because Luke's in the emergency room, or and they talk to each other a lot of times through Facebook, or and they might not even know each other, but they all come together. To kind of help out. So, people meet us, and I guess they just want to help. So, and it really is a good feeling. I mean, there's not a lot of things that have come easy, and there's not a lot of benefits to having a medically complex child. I mean, I look at him every day, and I wish that I can make all of his hurt go away, but and then sometimes when I think of all the things, I mean, he's still extremely happy little boy. I mean, and he's so loved, like more than anyone, and he's done a lot of amazing things in the last 6 years, and I say him because his face has just like 6 months ago we posted on Facebook on Acme's page about the Caroline cart, and in 12 days Acme responded and bought him a special cart. We say bought him, but bought the grocery store a cart designed for children with special needs. So it's supposed to be here next week, and it's going to benefit all families with kids with special needs. And that was another thing that happened through social media. And it's really exciting. Acme in Norton was the first store in the state of Ohio to purchase a Caroline cart. So that was just another little thing that Luke's face is just, you see it and you hear his story, and because it's very difficult for us to go to the grocery store and put him in a regular cart. He's getting bigger, and these carts are specifically designed for children like him to sit, and then, because a lot of times when I go to the grocery store, I have to push his wheelchair and push a cart, and I have 2 other children and a service dog behind me, so we sometimes look like a traveling circus. But it is great, because I mean, when I go out in public, especially in Norton, people are always willing to help me. People have offered to help load the car when they see me struggling, and so I mean, I always use the phrase that I get by with a little help from my friends, and it just can't be more true. Like, we wouldn't be able to go, come as far as we have, and he wouldn't be doing as well as he is without the help that people have, done for me or shown for our family. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about his condition and everything, just so I make sure that I have all that?
Yes, Lucas has, I say 16 diagnoses because he has a list. I mean, he's just really a medically, complicated child. When he was born at about 8 months, he started having grand mal seizures. So a seizure disorder. He has microcephaly, which just means his head isn't growing anymore, and it could have been a condition from the seizure disorder itself. And then he has a mitochondrial disorder, and a severe dysautonomic crisis, which are the events that he has. They don't look at all like a seizure. He basically looks like he's just going to sleep. His body temperature drops, his heart rate drops, his core temperature starts to go, and a lot of his body systems just don't work properly. So, and every time this happens, I mean, we usually just hope and pray that he's gonna wake back up from one of these events. There's not a lot, there's no treatment necessary, that they can do for him at that point. So he's been on a lot of medication. He's been on a lot of seizure meds, failed medication that just doesn't help. He's pretty much just one of those. I mean, although he has 16 diagnoses, we refer to him as an undiagnosed child. He doesn't have one overlying, condition. Just a lot of different, complicated issues. I mean, I have 2 other typical children, so, it just happens.
Yeah.
Not a lot of reason for it, but.
Sure. How tough has it been for your family to be able to, I know not just with him, but also, you say you have another child who's also
Yeah.
getting, a little bit of...
Yeah, he's starting to have a little bit of health problems. Well, it's funny because my husband and I have been dating since we were 17, and now married for 11 years. But when I was 14 years old, I started watching babysitting for children with disabilities, and I went on to college and I became a special ed teacher. So my entire life has always been around people with special needs. So a lot of people find that very ironic, and that's when that phrase, everything happens for a reason, comes into play. But I mean, so to me, I knew a lot about life with a child with a disability. Obviously not from this perspective as being a parent. I was always the teacher, sitting on the other side of a table at the IEP meetings, but life does definitely change. There's a lot of things that we can't just get up and go. His medical conditions, hospital stays. I know there was a Christmas we got out of the hospital, it was Christmas Eve. There's been seizures, his episodes, his autonomic crises can literally strike at any time. I mean, that we could be somewhere enjoying ourselves and, something bad and horrible can happen. It just, you can't really predict it. So you kind of just have to go on with everything and try to make the best of what your new normal is. For my other two, I just, try to explain it. They don't know life any different. They've grown up with Fluke, so to them, this is just, our life. So it doesn't scare them when the Norton firefighters show up, They're just so used to, they consider the guys their friends, and, they're here again, and riding in the back of an ambulance or being in the ER, or, I try to shield them from things that I think they shouldn't see, but we're very open because I found that, it's a better way to be and communicate and talk about things. So there's been some unfortunate times where they've overheard adult conversations and, picked up on things that they shouldn't and asked questions, but, it definitely changes things. If I can know that we raised enough money, they told me I could call Monday or Tuesday, and if they took the case, they'd postpone it. They send a letter that says we need to postpone the state hearing, we're representing them. They just fax something, and then we get a court date like a month later, so they have some time to prepare. So if I don't have one by Wednesday, I go alone. So, hi bud! Do you want to wipe his mouth just a little bit? Do you mind? So, but yeah, it's been off the record, it's been a little stressful because like the literally has been said to me, if we were poor, we would, and that's why we're in the nursing situation that we're in, is, if he was on straight Medicaid, he'd be getting 50 hours a week of nursing. He would be getting, we would have 9 hours a day, we would have, all the care. This is the program that we're on. It took us a long time to even get on this waiver program. So, and they're, making some changes. And medically, he's actually gotten worse. The things, like acuity scale, when they go to look at all the conditions, the episodes that he's having now, there's no treatment for what is being done. When his seizures were really bad and nurses were administering his seizure meds, that counted for us a lot better because the nurse would have to give him an emergency med. Now the episodes that he's having, they're not seizures, and there's nothing that they can do except warm his body back up and just kind of watch and make sure he doesn't go into cardiac arrest. So they are actually talking about putting in a pacemaker, where it's a difficult decision for the family that we're trying to make, whether or not that would be beneficial to what episodes he's having. So his condition is actually, in a way, deteriorating than it was. I don't like to say that seizures were easier, but in some ways seizures were easier because there was like a clear treatment, to the episodes. So. I have no idea what to expect, how many people. I think the invitation went out to like 3,000 Facebook friends. So, and I saw there was a couple hundred people that said they were going, and I know there's so many people that donated. They're donating cookies now. I heard, our pizza place, Fat Boys, we always go to in Norton. Somebody just called and they donated a pizza that we could, use, and it's just amazing, the support and the amount of people that have responded from one little lemonade stand. So, I was expecting to sit out there and sell 50-cent or 25-cent glasses of lemonade. So, but I think we'll probably have a full, we're worried about directing traffic at this point and how busy the road's going to be. So, between Barberton, Wadsworth, and Norton, I think everybody knows our family.
No, that's okay. So. That's okay. That's all right. Hello.
Hi, bud. Hi. Hi. Hey. Hey. You're so silly. Oh, where are you going? Okay, go back by Nisha. We'll get you in a minute, okay?
We'll get him in
This is why the loop proofing, and I can't imagine life without having a nurse with me. I mean, because he's in constant motion all day. I can't do anything. If I have to take a shower in the morning, I have to take him in with me. I mean, he's just, you know, his behavior is on top of his disabilities. You know, he has severe pico where he eats things that aren't food items, so he chokes on things, and I don't know, it's really hard.
Yeah, no.
Starting to be a very difficult time for us, you know, with the discussion of Luke possibly having a pacemaker, my other son having some health issues. I think I was getting a little bit of little down, and you know, something like this definitely kind of, you know, changes everything. I mean, it's happened, you know, to us before, you know, at times where people have stepped up to the plate and really helped us out, and something good happens. But, you know, when it does, it kind of does put a smile on your face despite, you know, the situation we were in. And I think that's kind of what my friends saw, is that, you know, times were getting tough. So my Facebook statuses might have been getting a little bit gloomy, and everybody was, you know, what can we do? And, you know, it's really neat to see mutual friends just pitching in together. And, you know, my other friend had just started a fund for the same reason, you know, the house that we needed things done to and the attorney fees. And so she started a Give Forward fund, and then, you know, Lynette did the lemonade stand, and she actually lives in Wadsworth too, so they're all kind of just working together, and, you know, it's really kind of fantastic. You know, I haven't even known Lynette for that long, but Lynette and Shane, her husband, I don't know people who have bigger hearts. I mean, it's just been so incredible, you know, to not know our family that long, and our kids just played on baseball team together, and to show so much love for, you know, our son. It's, you know, it's an amazing experience, and everybody else who's come out and helped and donated. You know, the people that did the t-shirts, and I couldn't believe that they got as far as they did.
Yeah.
You know, businesses were willing to help, and you know, so just thank you. You know, a little bit does go a long way, so it makes a big difference to us. I mean, you know, the part about everybody bringing yogurt melts to for a glass of lemonade, you know, it might only be a $3 bag of, you know, yogurt melts, but, you know, obviously it's a couple $100s a month that it saves our family. So, you know, and I think after Sunday we'll probably have enough to fill a truck. So, as some people who haven't even been able to make the event have been dropping them off. So, you know, it's just a really good feeling.